Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks for joining me today. As always, it's lovely to have your company and be able to spend some time with you. Now, I'm still on my calendar, so I hope you don't mind. We've only got a few months left to finish and I'm so excited, I can't wait. So we're on October. And obviously October, I'm thinking I've got to go a bit of a Halloween theme. Now, again, it might be that you're not going to use a Halloween type design, but do you know what? There might be something in here, a little bit of the way I use a stamp or a stencil that you'll use. So again, if Halloween isn't your thing, maybe just put the kettle on, make yourself a drink, and let's just spend some time together, even if, you're not going to use this particular design. It might actually just give you some ideas of how you can use it with another design, because often that's what happens. And I do find it's like when I have crafty catch up time with my friends, often when we're talking about things, that's how it sort of sparks ideas. And I love that. So I'm hoping that that's what happens with us here today. Now, I have done a little bit of, I couldn't resist. I just had a little play. And I've put my urchin stamp here. And this is something I love to do. I love to use it as a pumpkin. So I've just done it and a couple of little spiders just to start me off and get me in that sort of theme. Now I've got choices here. I've got to be honest, I tend to use Willow the Witch. I've got my sort of Halloween themed stamps out and I love her. But when I did a calendar last year, I used her for October. So I'm actually thinking of putting the large Ariel. So again, I don't know about you, I have these ideas and then I change my mind. Do you know what? I hope I'm not the only one that does that. So I'm thinking, let's go Ariel. Well, we can see, can't we? Could be interesting. Now, I'm going to ink her up. But I'm just going to put a piece of kitchen towel because again I found it's terrible if I've got anything on the back of my block. When you're stamping direct onto your calendar, obviously you really want to minimize the chance of getting marks on it. I know it happens to all of us and I know we have to find ways of getting around things because at the end of the day, it's like I always say, I'm just a crafter. I'm not, we have some fantastic mixed media experts. We have some fantastic watercolour experts, colouring experts. I'm none of those. I'm just a crafter and I'm lucky to be in the position that I'm on the design team and I'm able to make videos and come into your craft room and share what I do with you. But I never will pretend to be anything other than myself, just a crafter. So if this goes wrong, it goes wrong and you'll see. But hopefully it won't. I've put some copy paper underneath. As you know, for me, that's my little sort of safety net. Now I'm thinking I'm going to just pop it on top of October. Now, she's a big stamp and a silhouette. And as I've told you before, I'm not the best at stamping. Don't know why. It's just one of those genetic things. Probably something to do with the fact that I always wanted curly hair and I haven't got curly hair. Aren't we funny? I always think, it's like when I do workshops, I love it because the number of crafters that turn to the neighbour and say, oh, I love what you've made. And the neighbour will say, oh, but I prefer yours to mine. And I always think it's like, when you go out for a meal, no matter what you order, somebody else always orders something. And when it comes, it looks nicer than what you've got. Or is that just me that happens to? So I do love watching ladies and gentlemen at craft workshops when they, it's lovely because we do get inspiration from each other. Right, I think I've talked enough, don't you? Shall we see? Oh, yeah, she's stamped well. Can tell I was sort of distracting you there. As my little grandson Elliot would say, it was distraction tactics, Grandma. Now, on Willow the Witch, we've got this cauldron look. And that's the bit I'm thinking of bringing in to pop under her wand. So, let's bring my kitchen. I've not enough room on my craft desk to stamp off, sort of out of shot. And if I do, you won't be able to see it. So, I do think I need a bigger craft desk. Got to be honest, I think I need a bigger craft room. But then how many of us say that? Although I have to say, some of you share the most fabulous photographs where you've got craft rooms, craft sheds. And it's lovely to see. I've just got a little room. Right, let's have this under, I think that's about under there, isn't it? And good news is, those of you that are asking about the calendars, they are in production. Obviously, we'll let you know as soon as we get them in, but it is exciting. And that's why I want to get this one. So as soon as the new ones come, I can't wait to start on next year's. And already I'm having ideas of what I can do. Right, I'm liking that. Now, I've also got this lovely, but yes, the calendars, we will let you know as soon as they come in. Got this lovely cobweb, and I'm thinking I'd just check whether it'll stamp. Obviously, when you've got like the ridge here, but let's just see if we can get it to stamp up there. So if I pop it right on the corner, yep, hopefully. So we'll link this up. I love the cobweb. Don't often get a chance to use it. I mean, which is funny really, because obviously we do have cobwebs all year round. I'll pretend I don't have them, obviously, in my house, because I clean. Well, if only I had time to clean. Right, so let's see. We can get a nice cobweb in that corner. Now, a few of you have been in touch and said that you haven't dared stamp direct onto your calendar yet, and I can understand that, because it can be a bit, I'm pleased that's worked. So I'm just going to clean the stamp, and the reason I'm cleaning it is if I lift it off when it's dirty, I'll get ink on my fingers. And what I want to do, I popped it in the corner, look, so that my block didn't go on this ridge here. So if I move it across to this corner, does that make sense? Then I stand a chance of being able to stamp that there, because if you put the acrylic block on there, it's higher and your stamp won't touch the card. That's my theory anyway, so that's what I'm hoping. So again, we'll just ink this up again and see if we can get this one in this corner here. And like I say, that way we're pressing directly. Oh, look at that little bit. I missed that little bit. But not to worry. We have a fine liner. And we can just... I'm just going to be a spider now, look. There we go. Nobody will ever know. Now, if you've actually got a gap here, look, and you want to carry on, just use your fine liner and carry the design right to the end. And again here, just because for me it looks a bit wrong, sort of stopping halfway. But that might be me, I might just overthink it. Right, so I'm happy with that so far. I think we need a little bit of grounding, don't we? So what I'm thinking is, if I just find my hill masks, and I'm thinking if we go for the flatter one, now I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to turn this to the side. And I'm going to come in with the Elements Ink Pad Henna, just because I'm thinking sort of brown and orangey, yellowy tones I'm thinking for October. And let's just see if we can ground the hole into the lid and start under Ariel. And just gently right across, just sort of give a bit of a scene here. I'm just going to come a little bit darker, so I've got some nice shade. There we go. And instantly that gives us a bit of a scene, doesn't it? We've grounded Ariel, and I'm just going to wipe my hill masks and pop them away. Now what I am thinking of doing is, I'm thinking of using the circle mask and giving a bit of a yellow glow around. Yeah, so I've got Sundance out here. So where's my yellow brush? Yeah, that's yellow. So into the lid again. And again, I'm just going to go on the mask first and gently, gently. And let's just have a nice yellowy glow. And then what I'm going to do is where I've got less now, gently, gently, I'm going to go around that circle, almost just to fuzzy the edge. I sort of want a nice circle, but I almost want a bit of aura around it. So I'm just going to gently, gently, and again, hardly touching the card. And if I lift that up, let me pop the lid on first. Keep it tidy. If I lift this up, can you see? So it's got that sort of aura around there. Now, my idea is I almost wanted to make it look like Ariel was sort of inside a cave. Now, today I haven't had a practice at this one. Quite often I have a practice, don't I? And I haven't today, so this will be interesting. But I've got my stone stencil, and I just thought if I bring a little bit of it in, obviously I can see through my stencil, and I'm thinking just to make it look like she's in a sort of a stone building, a cave or a castle. So let's just see if I pop the stencil there. And I'm just going to start in the corner and gently, gently going to work my way around. And I can add a little bit if I want, but again, just in the corner. And I'm using the same colour just because I think that will almost be a continuation. Oh, I like that. I'm going to add a little bit more in the corner, just on the edge, almost just to frame the design. So just make it a little bit darker. Remember, you can always build up the dark edge. Yeah, I like that. And sort of keep this, because you've got a white area there, it's good to have that between the yellow. So I'm going to turn my stencil round and do the same on the opposite side. But I'm turning it round because I've got ink on my stencil here, so I might as well use that. So again, we'll ink up and we'll start in the corner and just come towards the middle here. And I'm being mindful to just go round Ariel, down the side, ink up again, and gently, gently, and be patient. Like we say, you can always build this colour up, but if you come in too heavy, you don't want to spoil it. So be tickling that stencil. And then if I want to just see, I can lift up, look, tiny bit deeper, just in this top corner, I think. And then, yeah, I like that. And it's great, it's just a different way of using. I've not used that stencil for a while, so it's lovely to get out some of the stencils that we perhaps haven't used for a while. So what I'm thinking is a couple of spiders. And I've got the bug set. So let's have a couple of spiders. Let's have them hanging. And then we can draw in our little cobweb, can't we? Little thread that they're hanging on. So let's have one possibly here. And then I fancy one on the other side. And again, use your acetate if you're not sure. See, I don't want it the same height. It wouldn't, or I don't want it near a hair. No, it'll have to be down here. That'll mess with my head if I think it's going to crawl on a head. So let's pop, oh, got a bit of ink on the corner. So we'll pop that one down here. And again, just with my fine liner, we'll just draw that thread look. And again here, we'll just do a little bit of a hanging thread. And I'm just going to put, so it looks like he's obviously moving. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of, just add a little bit of detail there. And then let's add one of our, and again, I love these sorts of designs that just build up as you're going along. So I just fancy a couple of pumpkins on this side. I think this side would look too much above this one here. So I may just put one, I may put two. Let me just see. One there. And then let's just have one there. Yeah. And then last thing I'm thinking, I've got some stars somewhere. Now it's what colour to do my stars. You see, I could go for yellow, but I'm thinking black. I quite like this in to have the black tones. So there's quite a few various different mini star stamps, so have a look at them. And this one I think is called the star group, the mini star group. So I think we'll have a couple of these. And I'm thinking, I don't want to overcook it with the stars. Don't want too many. And again, if you're not sure, I know I keep saying it, but so you see, I thought, yeah, I like it over there. And then just one this side. Or do we put it? No, looks better there, doesn't it? Like it's yet. And I do this, you know, I do talk to myself. Don't know if you're the same. I mean, I actually talk to myself even when I'm not recording these. Sometimes I forget whether I am or not. Right. So if we just add some colour. So I'm going to come in with my watercolour pencils. So these are the lovely watercolour pencils. And you can tell my favourite ones because look, when you look inside, some are definitely further down than others. So, nice orange. But for a bit of depth in the orange, and I'm going to lean on this and then I don't smudge my work, we're going to add a little bit of red. Just to give depth to that orange. And again, these are watercolour pencils, so I'll add the colour and then we'll just, a little bit of water. And I'm just going to add a little bit of orange around the wand. And then I've got a lovely brown. And I'm just going to add the top of the cauldron there with the yellow. And then, and again, you can spend your time. If you want to paint the colour in, you can. As I say, I'm just using the watercolour. So again, start with a lighter colour and then blend it down to the darker, to that red, and blend it in. And then wash my brush, same thing. Lighter colour down into the darker. Lovely. And then again, wash my brush. Oh, we need to do her wings, don't we? So I think we'll do her wings in oranges. I think it'll tone in nicely because we've got oranges and yellows. So if we pop some red just at the top here, and then we'll get a yellow. We'll have some yellow at the base. And again, this is just my little cheats way of colouring, because then I can come in with the orange in the middle and I can blend that into the red and into the yellow at the same time. And just for me, it's a similar way to how I do my blending. Just find it works well for me. But however you normally colour, just add some colour. And again, just wash my brush. I'm just starting with at the yellow end, with the yellow, then into the orange across, look, and then into the red, and then just back, dragging that red down into the wings. Just where we added that orange there. Right, so I'm just going to pop my pencils back, and again, I'm afraid you have to bear with me because I do have to put them back in the right order. I'm terrible, it messes with my head if they're in the wrong order. And what I'm thinking is, let's add, so I'm being naughty again, I'm not showing you what I'm using. So this is the pastel pencils, just for a little bit more shade. So I'm just going to add a little bit of black fine liner there, just some odd squiggles, and I'm going to come in with my brown and just add a little bit and just smudge it with my finger. Again, just a little bit to just make the design look a little bit. I don't want this to come too far. I want to still be able to see October. And then with my yellow, just going to add a little bit on here. And again, just smudge it, because again, it is pastel, but I almost want the cobweb to just be highlighted. I'll just add a little bit round the spider, almost like he's glowing. He's one of those glow-in-the-dark spiders. And we'll add a little bit round Ariel, just at the front of her here, because obviously there's that glow from whatever's going on in the cauldron here. And the same on this side. And again, I'm not overthinking it. I just want to add that little bit of a pastel glow. And if you want to add a little bit round your stars, you can. A little bit round the top. And we'd just get a bit of a reflection on there, wouldn't we, from that? So, yeah. And then I'll just come in. Let me just get the white and add a little bit. So I'm just going to have to turn this round, I'm afraid. And I just want to add a little bit, just a bit of highlight. Just on the front. I'm sorry if my head, I keep trying to push my head back. I don't want to add too much. And again, you can use your white gel pen for this. You know, I'm just not good with a gel pen, so I'm using my pastel. Let's see. A little bit on the spider's body. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Right. And again, how quickly has that come together? I like that. But I'm thinking I would like some splats and maybe some glitter. So for me, I find splats first and then glitter. That's just the way it works for me. If you've got a way that it works for you. So I'm going to shake my posca, and this is the yellow. Now this one I do know, and we do get asked a lot of questions about posca. You'll know your own posca pen. This one does very big splats sometimes. So I'm just going to gently tap. You watch, you won't do any now. So if, like mine, look, he suddenly stopped. I used him the other day and I got huge splats. Give him a shake, but also give him a bit of a pump. I'm just going to pump him on my mat. Right, let's see. Yeah, there we go. That's reactivated him. But I'm being gentle because he does do very large if I'm not careful, and I don't really want them on Ariel. So I'm putting my pen quite close to the card and just doing gentle taps. If I do bigger taps, look, I'll get bigger splats. So it's just knowing your pen. Right, that's enough. I like that. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of stickles. So again, my stickles, he can be a bit rude and he can spit at my work. So I'm going to pop my stickles on my mat and then get myself my water brush. Where's it gone? And again, although it's a water brush, it's an empty one. And I'm just going to add a little bit on my cobweb. So again, I want my cobweb to just shine a little bit, you know, like they do. And again, the same with this one. And so I'm painting the stickles on. And if you've not done this before, this does two things. What it does is it will dry quicker because you're using less. And also you can pop it exactly where you want it. So I can decide where I want my stickles. And for me, as I say, the stickles sometimes spits at my work. And this way, it won't spit. I might just add a little bit just onto the top. There we go, of my... Right. But what I do need to do is just wipe up on my mat where I've put it on my posca. And then the last thing I'm thinking is a sentiment, and we've got these fabulous, look how many I've got. I don't know about you, I seem to have favourites. So these are sentiment stickers, and I think this is number 2. Well, 3, I've written 3 on the back. Now, what am I going to put on here? See, I'm thinking trick or treat. We've got cobwebs, I could put cobwebs, but I quite like trick or treat, with it being October. I think we might go trick or treat. I mean, there's so many of those lovely sentiment stickers that we could have. Now again, where are we going to put this? Let's find my scissors. So, down here, actually it's beautiful colour. It matches perfectly with that, the henna. Or, oh, I like it up there. I think it looks, but see, I don't like it in the middle. I mean, I could cut the words up. Oh, decisions, decisions. No, I like it here, just offset. So I'm thinking there and across onto the cobweb. Just there, I think. And I'm not even going to... Now, is that straight? I don't think that's quite straight, is it? That's better. So, I hope you like that. I hope that's given you a little bit of an idea. I've got a hair there. I'm just going to move that. So, I'm going to take my copy of paper out and see the design we've got. So, obviously, for October, ready for Halloween, that last weekend in October, and our Halaganza. That's definitely going to be marked on my calendar. And if you look, we've just got the little urchin, aka pumpkin, at the bottom. So I hope that's given you some ideas for when you do your October. And if you've already done your October, I'd love you to share a picture so we can inspire each other. But you know what? I'm thinking this. The good thing is, when it comes time to decorating my trick or treat bags, I've got an idea here of what I could put. I've got a scene already made. I mean, you could add some water splats to here, do a little bit of faux bleaching if you want, a little bit of brush-o powder, Again, so many things. This is just an idea to get your crafty juices flowing so that you can go off into your craft room and create some fabulousness. So I'll leave you with that, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.